Hello everyone, welcome to the Redmen TV. It's time for your reactions to Liverpool 0, Real Madrid 0. Liverpool going out of the Champions League at the quarter-final stage 3-1 on aggregate. And yeah, look, in the build to the game, all we wanted, I think, look, we all wanted to go through. But I think given the mountain to climb, I think the bare minimum we were all asking is we wanted something to believe in. We wanted to see something that let us believe that it was possible. And in particular, the way Liverpool approached that game in the first half and the start of the game was electric, and it was everything I was asking for in terms of the endeavour, the work rate, the tactics, the execution, all those things. Brilliant. The Liverpool that we know and love, and when Liverpool play like that, they're capable of beating everyone and anyone. But they had left themselves in a situation where, look, I think Real Madrid defended really well and we were profligate in front of goal, and when you get decent chances and you don't take them, that can be the difference. I mean, what's the stark difference between this game and the Barcelona game? You get a big chance early on. We take it against Barcelona. In that instance, it's Henderson / Origi, and in this one, it's Mohamed Salah, and he just doesn't put the ball wide enough of Thibaut Courtois to give us the lead there. But, you know, the thing is, given where Liverpool have been for weeks and weeks, and largely, you know, in the second half of this season, where the form fell off a cliff, and we were struggling to see Liverpool's identity. You know, they didn't look like the same football team that had gone so hard and so long and done so well for the last few seasons. This last run of games, with the exception of the first half in Madrid, we have at least looked like Liverpool, which gives me a great deal of hope for the future. But it is a bittersweet one on the night. I think the players can hold their heads up. I don't think they'll want to hold their heads up, which I think is good in its own way. But I always ask, you just want to see your players give everything, and I think they gave everything tonight, and they come up against a team that probably deserved, on the balance of the tie, to go through. Right, your comments. If you're a YouTube member at any tier, you can access the members-only chat to get your thoughts in. I'm going to read through some of them, then I'm going to nip over to Twitter and then back to get some more comments from YouTube, so feel free to get them in. Right, Brian Glow, who's the first man in here, waiting early doors, says, mate, what? Okay, mate, gutted to get knocked out, but the boys, hang on a second, let me just find that one again. Gutted to get knocked out. I'm nailing this. I'm absolutely nailing it. But the players can hold their heads up high. They gave it their all and put on a much better performance than in Madrid. Thank you, Brian. Yeah, I completely agree with that one. Harrison Bell, welcome as a Wonder Kid member. You get a bonus show, by the way, if you're a Wonder Kid, or Cult Hero, you get the Monday Final Word show, which will be a Tuesday Final Word show next week, because we play Leeds on the Monday night. Callum Zesty, boys did us all proud today. We really couldn't have asked for more from them. So unlucky not to get the win. They also showed some passion to win, which has been in question during our poor run. That's massive. I completely agree with that. That's what you want to see. Look, I want to see Liverpool win. I want to see Liverpool be top of the league. I want to see us win everything. I want to see us win the European Cup, all of these things. But I think we've had to recontextualise things given how this season's gone, and Liverpool have had to drag themselves up off the floor and build themselves back up again. And again, go back to Leipzig, the second leg of Leipzig in particular, and since then we've been far more like it. And if Liverpool want to maintain their level, we've got to get into the top four. We've got to maintain our place in the Champions League. There was a point where it looked like the Champions League itself would be the best way to do that. Now the league is there. It's got to be the focus. It's got to be the focus. But I think we should all believe it's definitely more possible, given that we've won 3 league games back to back, and we're starting to put more familiarly good performances in. FPL skills. Interesting comments is made. We didn't take our chances at all, and near the end we just did not create anything. Well done to the lads for getting this far, considering the season's troubles. Yeah, that is it. You know, you're right. We were brilliant. We were unplayable in the first half, like that midfield that everyone raves about. And I contended this. Liverpool undid themselves so much in that first half of the first leg, and it was a real shame to see. But I thought we showed what we were meant to see. And the way that James Milner in particular, the way he gave Modric such a torrid time, Kroos didn't have time to breathe, Casemiro was all over the place in that first half. It was just a shame that we just couldn't stick the ball in the back of the net. Jaume Jalal, who's just joined as a member here as well. Welcome aboard. We've looked much better these past few weeks than that horrid run we were on. All we can ask is for an active summer addressing the centre-backs and maybe another piece in the front three, and we go again. Yeah, and that's it. You know, we do look like, another quality body to add to the forward line would be a really important addition, I think, at this point. Yeah, and then the centre-back thing, we'll have to see what comes back available to us in terms of like the condition of Virgil and Joe and Joel and stuff. But yeah, I absolutely agree on that. Danny Donovan with the super chat. Thank you, Danny. Very unlucky tonight. Too many missed chances and too one-dimensional. Plenty of positives to take moving forward. Yeah, and that's it. I know, look, Liverpool's finishing's always been a little bit like that. Sometimes when you're hot and it all flies in. And it's one of those, isn't it? You get mentioned the crowd. When you've got your tails up, sometimes those things just go, you get it's weird. You score and one of them goes in somehow and then the next one goes in. It's mad, the butterfly effect, isn't it, really? But definitely plenty of positives to take it. Leon Geary with the super chat saying Klopp's tactics spot on. Salah too wasteful. That's interesting, Leon. Yeah, I don't know. Yes, I suppose, it's one of those situations where you could really do, particularly that first chance from Salah, stick that away and it's a boom moment. It's everyone up. Liverpool are flying and Real Madrid are rattled. As it was, we kept them rattled, which again is, I think it's a testament to the whole team. But look, the problem is, we talk about Salah's wastefulness. You're right, he's probably on the night. Genie, I'm just watching BT's highlights back as we're doing this. Genie has a really good one when Trent cuts it back to him as well. We have some decent opportunities. We need to be a bit more on it. Yeah, it is what it is. Look, I always say you've got to craft the opportunities. Sometimes they go in, sometimes they don't. When someone like Mohamed Salah, who's been our top goal scorer now for what, 3 seasons? Is it 3? Is it 4? 3? He's boss. And if he doesn't put them away, then comes a point where you kind of have to shrug and go, well, if our best goal scorer's not scoring, doesn't finish it, well, shit happens to some extent. John Pearson said, it felt a bit like the Barca game. We pressed, we fought tooth and nail, but the goals just didn't come. Still proud. We go for top 4 and anticipate Virgil van Dijk's return next season. Yeah, I think that's the nice attitude to have that. Lewis Bryant said this all started with FSG's penny pinching. As soon as it became obvious that we weren't bringing in centre-back reinforcements on January 1st, the players looked completely demotivated. I think that's nonsense, mate. I don't think it's about penny pinching, but that's a separate issue for a separate day. We should probably have gotten a centre-back sorted in, but I think to tie it into like the players being demotivated as a result of it, I think that's there's no evidence of that, so that's a nice story, but we could create a million stories like that, and if we say them with enough conviction, we'll go, oh yeah, that sounds good. Is that a fun sounding story? Yeah, let's run with that. Not for me anyway. I don't think that's the case. Keto D, welcome as a first teamer. Thank you so much for joining up. Stephen with the $10 Canadian super chat. Thank you, Stephen. Disappointed with all the missed chances, not just today but throughout the season. Oh well, time to fight for top 4. You'll never walk alone. I mean, look, Liverpool have been like this for years. The fact is, everyone will keep saying, and there might even be a comment we'll come to about this idea of getting a clinical number 9. Maybe that's the answer. Maybe that is the answer to everything. But the problem is, when you get one clinical number 9 and then that guy's injured, what happens? Your entire team's built. We had this with Torres. When Torres was out, our team wasn't good enough to play without Fernando Torres, and it's very hard to then have 2 of those lads, because then you want 2 and 3. And we've got a wonderful system and it works more often than not. Just sometimes it doesn't. Thank you to Dylan Smith for the super chat. Rafa says, mate's thoughts on Phillips slowly looking like a decent 4th or 5th choice centre back next season. Yeah, I think you can see his limitations, but I think look at the effort he puts in, look at how he deals with things time and time again, in the right place at the right time, doing the right things. I thought he was quite good on the ball. I thought he was there when he needed to be, to put in like big block tackles. His positioning was really good. His heading was first rate. There was times when he was heading it twice. He was heading it up to himself and heading it away. No, I thought he was brilliant. And yeah, look, he's got a year left on his contract. There's an opportunity there where someone might come in and go on, we'll have him. And you might go to that Phillips. There's a better opportunity than we're going to be able to give to you. You might be a starting centre half for a Premier League team or a top end Championship team, and that might be what he wants for his career. I think he's 24 now. He's not a kid, but if he's happy to stay and just be a backup, then sound. I mean, look, Liverpool's ideal world is that you will never need to use your 5th choice centre half again. But we don't live in an ideal world, do we? Lewis Bryant. Salah's carried us through the entire season. I feel sorry that he has to play with the 10 clouds. Oh, I think that's a bit harsh on everyone else. But you look again, Salah's been one of the few shining lights. His goals have literally carried us through this season, so I do agree with that. Paddy Barnes, good performance, but at this level it has to be perfect. One thing we can take away from this season is more experience for any backup players. Yeah, look, Thiago Alcantara and Jota are the right mould of signings you want to be making. They're lads who are good enough to play in our first team, and you want 14, 15, 16 lads of the same level, and then a bunch of players who are either up and coming and can reach that level, and you have one or two lads who, if you need to break the glass and drop in, a la Shaqiri, and previously less so this season, but Divock Origi in the past, then that's cool. Yeah, Brian Glow, another one there from him saying positive that I can take. That played well, and Alisson made crucial saves when we needed them. That's it. Everyone did the job apart from the lads sticking the ball in the back of the net. But even in a general sense, they all played well. They all stretched Madrid. They all, they got into the right positions. Sometimes just shit happens, doesn't it? Kent, body language is everything, and certain Liverpool players don't want to be at Liverpool anymore. Let's be honest. We will finish 3, never give up. Yeah, maybe I don't know who you're referring to in that. So it can't. I don't think it's quite that obvious. Maybe I've just massively missed something. Michael McGuinness, proper gutted lads. Can't show you what I've done to my PS4 controller, but it's now in pieces. I threw it at the wall, but hey ho, that's my anger. Look, fine. I always say this: you can't control emotional reactions in and of the moment. That's their emotions. That's how they work. You can only control them with breathing and time and desire to do such a thing. I hope you can afford another PS4 controller. I had a mate who was he once tried to smash his controller, didn't, slammed his chair and ended up smashing a floor-to-ceiling mirror with the chair because he couldn't get the button combination right on Final Fantasy VII. So look, it happens to the best of us. Right, I'm going to have a couple. I'm going to take a few more from the live chat. So if you want to get your comments in, get them in now. I'll be back to you in just a second. I'm just going to read a few tweets out from over on that Twitter. Craig Everton saying, look, not on our side tonight. Hasn't been all season. Lost it in the first leg. Had Real playing a back 6 at Anfield. Shows how worried they were, to be honest. Just didn't take all the chances created. I think that's spot on. Look, and Real Madrid's game plan was slightly different. They just needed to hold on this game. And, you could see we took our shot by putting more men on. And they put more bodies in there. And they ended up putting loads of men behind the ball. They weren't committing people to the press anymore. They gave us a challenge to break them down. And that's a tough ask against any football team, and Real Madrid they got it right in the end because we didn't take our chances. But I agree, the tie was lost in the first leg. We were terrible in that game, with the exception of a little spell in the second half. And we made that mountain for ourselves to climb, and that'll be something this team has to live with. Bruce, best we played in months, but the better team over the tie went through. Can't have any complaints really. Full assault for 3rd place now. Yeah, I agreed. And that's the shame. I'd love to be able to say that Liverpool were the better team and were unlucky over the full tie, but we weren't because we were so dreadful away from home. If we played like tonight in the first leg and still gone out, I think you'd be able to go, well, it's one of those things, but there's going to be that thing. And this is good, by the way, for the team, because I think that team will be so pissed off with themselves, and this has got to be used as fuel to fire the race for 3rd in the league now. Absolutely. Aiden Chen with a couple just to round us up on Twitter before I head back to the live chat. Personally, I think Liverpool were exceptional over the pitch, except for the most important aspect of the game, which is finishing. Well played to Madrid, though, who had to play with a makeshift back 4 like us and did very well to stop our attacks. Yep. And he says, despite going out, the boys did us very proud tonight. Yeah, I completely agree with that, mate. I think that's all absolutely spot on. Right, we've got a few more comments here from the live chat before we round up. Apart from scoring, everything was perfect, says Matthias Hansen. Yeah. I can see Klopp smiling in his post-match interview. I'm going to listen to it before we do the instant match. But that's all he ever asks for. He can't make guys put the ball in the back of the net. He just inspires them. He says, here's the tactics, and with his coaches have to say, here's the best way to win. And you work really hard and you fight for everything and you pick up the ball and use the space that's available to you, and then opportunities present them. And when opportunities present themselves, if you can stick them away, more often than not, you'll probably win football matches. And if you don't, then it'll be what it'll be. My point on this is that nobody deliberately misses chances on goal. which is always the point worth remembering in these things. Welcome to Lawrence Vito, joins us as a first teamer. Get your comments in quickly, mate, before the show ends, and I'll read it. Danny Hartery Smith says Trent was awesome. I 100% agree with that. That was a world-class performance from Trent. I've seen a couple of people saying, "Oh, he's just throwing crosses at the end." Yeah, but that's part of the thing is you throw crosses in, you create uncertainty. You look to pick up second balls and bobbles, and we got ourselves on the ball enough times in the 18-yard box tonight. We were doing the fundamentals really, really well. But yeah, again, sometimes it is just one of those things. Dylan96, I have a feeling we'll start to see a massive change in attack this season. Also, can you become a member via YouTube or on the website? Right, so there's two types of membership, basically. So you got YouTube membership, which is just a little bit of a Redmen TV light experience. So you get 3 tiers there. The first tier is like a couple of quid or whatever, and you get access to emotes, and then there's some discounts on merch. Tier 2 and Tier 3 is you get one bonus show, which is the Monday, but the full-fledged stuff is over on the website, so that's the redmentv.com. If you sign up on there, a club captain, which is a $5 a month, which is actually, competitively compared to YouTube, much better value, and we get much more out of it as well, by the way. YouTube can't take a cut of the money over on the website. You get access to all of our content for that, which is like podcasts, which is video, which is bonus Redmen shows, but also loads of extra like Liverpool-themed content, so documentaries and interviews and stuff, like a little Liverpool streaming service. And if you go to Club Legend on there, which is a bit like the Patreon experience almost for us, but again, you haven't got Patreon taking a big cut and cutting our balls off. You get loads of extra stuff. So you get access to our Discord group, which is all the Redmen team, plus the absolute heroes of our Discord group, who it's just a really nice place to be. You get free merchandise, and you get access to all that content, and you get tickets to live. There's loads of stuff. Too much for me to mention right here. But we've got some amazing competitions for those guys as well. So hopefully that clears it up. You've got the YouTube membership, but the best stuff. And again, if you want to support what we do it over on the redmentv.com. Thank you so much for that, Dylan. Alexi Russell, game slowed down for 5 or 10 minutes after Thiago and Jota came on, in my opinion. Maybe should have saved one of them for later on in the game. Yes and no. Yeah, no. But look, the game was changing. Real Madrid, where it's that phase of the game now where they're going to start to like try and hold on to what they've got. So you're anticipating that, and you're maybe just trying to steal a march and go as early as possible and kick up a gear. Fabinho's the centre half, does that. So you've got a midfielder playing at the back, so you don't need two not particularly comfortable on the ball centre halves in a game where you've got all the ball and you're looking to break a team down. And you're right, it did unsettle us a bit, but you have that chance. Jota gets in quite soon after that. It's a gamble, but it was an obvious next attacking step for me. Tristan Bauer, Paul, where does Bobby and Mane fit in from here? Because if this form carries into next season, it's simply not clinical for Liverpool at this level. I think Bobby will be Bobby Firmino forever. I thought Bobby was brilliant tonight. I did. I thought he was absolutely outstanding. Mane started brightly. I mean, that ball to Salah for the first chance, it all comes from his great run. He looks off the boil, but I don't think you go from being the best left winger in the world to being crap. And he's not crap, by the way, in terms of his output. He's still probably up there with the best. Not many. You don't get double figures goals from left wing often. I think a summer off and bringing him back in, and I think he'll be absolutely fine, to be honest. I just think he's one. He has given everything to this team. We said last season nobody wanted to win the title more than Sadio Mane. He dragged us through so many games last year, and he's done that. You think back to the Champions League final against Real Madrid, Salah goes off. Who's the guy? There's two guys trying to drag us there, Dejan Lovren, and it's Sadio Mane trying to make it happen for us. He's been doing it for years. I just think he needs a bit of a break, and I think he'll come back. I mean, how many times did we used to write off Man United players and Barcelona players and Juventus players, and they all just keep coming back? I think Mane will be like that, to be perfectly honest. But we do need more. I think we need one more. We need another one at the level of Jota or beyond. Just buy Mbappe, it'll be fine. Right, so Lawrence Vito saying, lucky, but we can focus to get top 4, right? Yeah, hopefully. That's it. That's the challenge now. Look, the Champions League is done. We've shot our shot and we've missed, and we are out. Disappointing, a hard one to take in some regards, but there's games of football to be played right now. The mission is simple. Don't be embarrassing. Don't be embarrassing and finish outside the top 4, because you need to prove that you're not a Europa League side. And Liverpool are in a race now, and if you've got to breathe down Leicester's neck, and you've got to look at alongside Chelsea, and Liverpool and Chelsea will be looking at 3rd and 4th. And I wouldn't be shocked if the top 4 finishes with Liverpool and Chelsea in it. But they've got to win. They've got to keep winning games. They've got to keep grinding away. This, I think they'll take encouragement and motivation from this game, and hopefully they can channel it into a positive end to the season. Adam Morsey, with one last comment before we go. Trent's technical ability is unbelievable. Baller, he is. He's world class. He's the best right back in world football. Never let anyone tell you anything other than that. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined me in the comments. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. I know it's difficult. I know it's hard to take, and I know there's some PlayStation 4 pad smashing to be had. As long as it's not a PS5 pad, mate. My God, don't do that to a PS5 pad. No, that's haptic feedback. But yeah, look, thank you so much. Again, if you want more from us, Chris is doing play ratings any second. We'll be back with the instant match reaction after that. And of course, there's always the redmentv.com. So if you want to support what we do, if you enjoyed what we do and you're happy to, you want to contribute, you want to be a member, just sign up on the website. Honestly, it helps us far more than anything YouTube can ever offer for us. So yeah, that would be great. Keep your heads up, Reds. Yeah, more from me to come in a little bit. Ta-da. Hey everyone, Mate here. I just wanted to let you know that we've managed to get hold of a final load of exclusive signed copies of our book, Champions of Everything. It comes filled with Matchday Diaries exclusive photos and some of the best and worst hot takes that followed Liverpool's campaign that saw us become champions of everything, winning the Super Cup on the back of being the champions of Europe, winning the Club World Cup in Qatar, and of course being crowned as Premier League champions after 30 years. The book is completely different to everything else out there at the moment. It is funny, it is insightful, it's a good laugh, and you can get the signed edition with a limited edition sticker pack right now, but they are in very limited numbers. We've managed to get hold of a couple of boxes for this one final run, so if you want one, get one now while stocks last. The link will be in the description underneath.